Today our story is like science fiction. Imagine get on a plane and then landing safely, and you are surprised 37 years have passed. Is this true story or just a lie? Is it possible that the plane traveled through time? This is our story today. Flight 914. As usual, like and comment, let's go. The story begins in 1955, specifically from New York in United States. There was flight on Pan EM plane, flight number 914. The flight flew from New York Airport in July 2. In 1955 to Miami Airport. There were 57 passengers inside the plane and 4 crew members. The situation was normal. The weather is sunny and there are no hurricanes. And there is nothing dangerous for the weather conditions. Even before the plane left, everything was checked as a normal routine. But after a while, lost contact with the plane, and the air traffic controller cannot see the plane on the radar. I think the pilot stopped at the parking lot to unload. Well, investigation have begun at the airport. They called Miami Airport to make sure the flight might have arrived. And maybe this is just malfunction in the radar or communication. But the response was shocking. The flight didn't arrive. Even the plane didn't appear on Miami Airport radar. And the strange thing about the story is the captain of the plane did not ask for help. Suddenly, disappeared. Immediately began the search and rescue operation on the plane path line, hoping to find something. But they did not find the wreckage of the plane, or bodies of the passenger, or any evidence to prove the plane fell. The question started, and they expanded the scope of the search. Where's the plane? Or in case it crashes, where's the wreckage? Where's the 61 bodies? The search stayed for 3 months, and unfortunately, they did not find anything. Authorities said the plane crashed into the ocean, and the passenger drowned to a point that is difficult to reach. They closed the flight 914-5. But in September 1992, at Caracas Airport in Venezuela, air traffic controller Juan de la Corte was in the job at the airport control tower. Suddenly, something strange appeared, coming to the airport. In Juan's schedule, there is no plane coming at this time. The airport employees were surprised, and indeed, Juan received a signal from the plane. And the first word the captain said, "Where are we?" Juan did not understand that plane where came from, because in the world of aviation, everything has time and date, and any plane has path. And this plane appeared out of nowhere. Juan said to the captain, "Introduce yourself and where you are coming from." And now, it's the shock. The captain said, "We are Pan American, flight number 914, coming from New York to Miami. We have 57 passengers and 4 crew members." Juan and the airport tower teams were surprised because this is the specifications of the plane lost 37 years ago. Juan did not tell the captain, and he asked him, "Have you had problems in Miami skies?" The captain said no. Juan told him, "Give me more details of the flight with the date." The captain said, "I have to land at Miami Airport at 9:55 a.m. on July 2, 1955. Juan was shocked, and all the employees were surprised. "What 1955, bro? 37 years have passed." Well, the Venezuelan airport team gave him landing permission. Everyone was surprised because the plane is very old and the engines are no longer usable. Long time ago, the plane landed and emergency team went to check passengers. The travelers were also shocked because they saw modern emergency vehicles that time. They also saw modern aircraft. Their mind got error. The difference is about 40 years. For sure everything has changed, but until now no one has told them about the date. And after the situation calmed down a little, Juan, he told the captain of the plane, "You are currently at Caracas Airport. I also have another surprise for you. Today, on September 9, 1992, the captain shouted and said, "Oh my God, impossible." Of course, he didn't understand what happened and decided to take the risk. Juan was hearing from the radio the screams of the travelers. He told rescue teams to intervene, but the pilot called and said, "Don't come close, we are coming back." And indeed, the plane moved, and Juan said that the captain flew the plane like a crazy. But the strange thing about the story, when the plane flew it, did not appear on the radar in the control tower. But Juan contacted the Venezuelan Air Force directly, and immediately they sent 4 warplanes to pursue the American plane, but the plane disappeared again among the clouds. And according to some newspaper that wrote about the story, the plane arrived in Miami, but not in 1955. Amid the astonishment of the airport staff and rescue teams, And the strange thing about the story is that the passenger have not changed in 37 years. They didn't get older or change anything. Of course, the American authorities have opening investigation with the passengers and crew, but the same answer always. We traveled from New York to Miami and it didn't feel the long time. Police released all passengers and crew without explaining what happened. At that time, the media was abuzz with the news, and the hypothesis began because the plane disappeared and returned after 37 years, but the time did not affect in the plane or the passengers. It's weird. The first possibility, according to some American newspaper, they said the plane entered a time gate or a wormhole, which made a plane travel for 37 years and exit to Caracas airport. Of course, this theory is unbelievable. Because first, there is no scientific evidence about the time gate. And second, let's suppose there is a time gate. When the pilot was surprised and flew the plane from Caracas airport to Miami and disappeared from the radar, supposed to go back to 1955 or for another year, not after 37 years. To be honest, it doesn't make sense. And there are some people who said that the plane was hijacked by aliens. Of course, also the theory is illogical. And the third theory is the passage of the plane over the Bermuda Triangle. And inexplicably, the plane was exposed to something that made it travel through time. But the Bermuda Triangle incident are the disappearance of some ships or planes. After a while, rescue crews find the wreckage or disappear completely. I mean disappearance without coming back. And some people linking the story the American government, especially Area 51. Many people consider it experimental area on alliance and time travel. But this story everyone rejected because it's fictional and illogical. So where did the story came from? And what's the secret that made the plane disappear and come back after 37 years? After investigation into the incident, investigation showed that the one who spread the news was the Weekly World newspaper. This newspaper is famous for writing fairy tales for the purpose of stirring up controversy and fame. And what about the picture of the travelers near the plane? These pictures are not of Pan Am aircraft, and the newspaper used the same story every once in a while, but with different dates. The first time the story went viral was in 1985 by Eddie Clones. This person is famous for his fake stories and write fictional story as real. And some people still believe the story until investigators searched the American aviation files from 1934 to 1965. The surprise is there is no flight at all. But until now, there are people who believe this story. They say this story is true, but the US government wants to hide it. And what about you? Tell me in the comments. Is it possible the story is true or this person is lying to us? If until now you are watching the video, you are the legend of the channel. And that's all for today. Peace.